Okay, cool.
Say good afternoon.
Oh, what's going on? How you doing? Awesome, Suzanne. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, thank you. See a lot of new faces on the call, which is phenomenal. So what I'm gonna do before we get going at 3:02 with our agenda is just kind of give a little bit of an overview about these calls. It's so great to see so many people. Charlotte East is a community development organization centered around the Eastland area, which is a slice of East Charlotte that you can see the boundaries for over here. We took over these calls from Mec Min about 3 or 4 years ago. They still have their biweekly calls, but we took over one just specifically for Eastside. And we run these calls to just be a very informal community gathering spot for nonprofit and faith community members who just want to get more plugged in, who want to know what's going on, who want to be connected to one another, and share resources and info. So thank you all for being here. Anytime you would like, please feel free to send us an agenda item. We will put it on the agenda for the next meeting, which is always the second Wednesday of the month from 3 to 3:45. We keep it pretty tight with the time. We'll give it one more minute, and I will get us going with Deanna. Are you in the call?
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone.
Hey, good
Hey.
afternoon. It was one more minute, but this has been great. So when we took it over, our first year we had roughly 10 people per call. Second year was about like 18 or so, and then last year we had about 25 people per call. So this is growing. It's phenomenal. We send 2 emails a month, one with a reminder of the meeting, and then with a follow up with the minutes, and that's about it. So our agenda was sent out. All of you received. It is a pretty robust agenda, but we do have some time at the end for some miscellaneous items in an open forum. For those of you who want to add anything to it. So with that said, I am going to go ahead and kick it off to Deanna Martinez with the City of Charlotte.
Yes, thank you. Excuse me. Hello, everyone. My name is Deanna, and I'm from the Community Relations Department with the City of Charlotte. I'm part of the Fair Housing and Non-Discrimination Division, meaning I'm just an investigator who looks into complaints of discrimination in the community. But my department also does a lot with community affairs, partnerships, and collaboration in the community. Something that we're doing is we're hosting an event called Faith and Safety, a community conversation with our department as well as CMPD. And this event will be for clergy leaders and faith leaders, like pastors and other professions, to come and meet the new chief of police, Estella Patterson, to start talking about ways to collaborate together, ways to stay informed, so that way when something happens, we have like a set contact list and members who can stay updated with things that are happening in the city, and so that those clergy members can then inform their communities whenever they have their respective meetings. So this is, of course, targeted for clergy leaders as well as faith leaders. So if anybody has any questions and would like to help advertise this event to their church, we are having some staff members who are reaching out to each church located in Charlotte individually to invite them and make sure that their addresses, email addresses, phone numbers are still active. So if you happen to have, maybe a pastor, maybe you're well connected in your church, you would like to make sure that they attend this event to meet the new chief, please let me know. You can also email me if necessary. I'll post my email in the chat, as well as phone number for those who would like to text or call and help us out with outreach as much as possible to make sure we get all faith leaders involved. And this is for all denominations, of course. Any religion, any faith leader is welcome to this meeting.
Deanna, what's your target attendance for this? Do you know?
That's a good question. I can get back to you on that. As of right now, we don't have a target attendance. It will be at the Park Expo Center, which is a pretty big space. So we don't have a target number as far as I know.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Any questions that anybody has that they'd like to ask?
Greg, I
What is
put it.
that?
Greg, I put it in the chat. It starts at 1. What's the end time?
Deanna, do you know what time it ends?
Oh, sorry about that. I was on mute. As far as I know, I think they're leaving some room open for discussions. So I think it'll be about maybe an hour and a half, and then they'll kind of keep it open for any discussions with the chief. So that's what I know at the moment.
Cool. Thank you, Deanna.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. And again, for those of you who are new on the call, we send pretty robust minutes, usually the next day or the next 2 days after, so individuals can get all this information without having to chase through things while they're on the call. And it's great to see so many new folks on the call today. It's phenomenal. The second thing I want to go over with you all is just provide some general updates on what is happening in the geography, specifically with development, new businesses, and one rezoning. I think this is large enough, but sorry, Canva's a little finicky, so every time that you adjust the screen, it closes you out of full screen view. Okay. So you can see this is our geography, the Eastland area. The left boundary, by and large, being Eastway. We have a little cut through right here to include Galilee, Independence, W.T. Harrison Plaza. So this is our 67,000 residents footprint. A few things I just wanted to make people aware of. It has been a very robust season for our small businesses. We have quite a few coming on board. Most that are small businesses. We do have a few corporate chains coming on board. As most of you know, November was a very difficult month. December was a very difficult month. Our businesses lost on average $2,500 a day. There was no relief external to some small business initiatives that we did from the public or private sector that came through to small businesses at all. We were a lot more pessimistic about what we were thinking in terms of losing businesses. We did not lose any businesses because of the Border Patrol operation at all. Besides, let me say it's non-related, but we've lost to Captain D's on Sharon Amity. So I'm sorry if you like Captain D's. I'm not lamenting that too terribly much. But we do have a number that have opened up or that are opening up shortly, and I want to make everybody aware of. So we have Sabores de Oaxaca, which is kind of in Mary Oaks, that is going to be a Oaxacan tapas-style Mexican restaurant in the old Waffle House in between House of Pizza and Semi Noodle. You can see some of their branding has gone up. Very excited about this because it has long been a vacant spot, and it's actually a local ownership group. It's the ownership group that owns Tacos Del Novato that is opening that space up, and that should be open within the next 6 weeks or so. We're going to go do a visit with them next week to schedule a ribbon cutting. But very excited about locally owned folks taking over vacant spaces, which is just phenomenal. The old Atlantic Farmers Market in Eastwood Crossing is being taken over, and they're doing significant renovations on the interior right now by a Hispanic grocer out of Georgia, I believe, is their corporate headquarters, called Talpa Supermercado. It's gonna be a rival to Compare Foods. They have a number of hot bars on the inside, aguas frescas, tortilleria inside. It's really gonna be a very interesting place, especially in this market where Compare really is kind of the dominating force for Hispanic International Grocer. That should be coming online around Q3. We have the Change Baker, which I'm very excited if you have not visited yet. It is Manolo's new concept right next to his bakery. That is a third space, as we call it, a very unique standalone coffee shop. He brought in a pastry chef from Miami to teach the crew how to do different types of pastries. It's more of an elevated vibe and workspace from the bakery. So we have a fruiteria that opened up on the corner of Plaza and Eastway. That is a new concept. They used to operate just out of a cart, but they got their brick and mortar, took over the vacant building next to the tire shop on Plaza Eastway. We have a new, our first Burmese restaurant, actually like legitimate Burmese restaurant, opened in Eastland Promenade, the Chuck E. Cheese Plaza, called Ricezilla at the beginning of January. So they do Thai and Burmese. We have Starbucks that is opening, our second location in the Eastland area besides the one on Independence, should be Q2. It's on Hickory Grove. So if you've seen, it was where the old bank was behind the Papa John's on Hickory Grove across the street from the church, the Baptist church. Starbucks is going to be right there. And then we have another local Hispanic grocer that is taking over the old Walgreens space. That's El Rey Supermercado. I think they're supposed to be coming on board Q3, Q4. So, and I wanted to share this. We usually don't share like development news with this group, but I wanted to show everybody like our small business ecosystem is absolutely thriving. It is the strongest in the city by far, without question. Last year we onboarded 14 businesses and only lost 5 and 3. No, we lost 6, and 3 of those were because the tenant or the landlord did not want to renew their leases. They wanted other concepts, and most of them were at Eastway Crossing, where they already have tenants coming back in. So the small business ecosystem is booming. There is one rezoning that council is going to vote on, because the public hearing and community meetings have already been had. Next week, I brought this up on the call last month, but it is for an upzoning for affordable housing senior units at Calvary Church of the Nazarene in Wallowa Lake, right there off Wallowa Lake and Sharon Amity. It is a Crosland Southeast project where they want to add, I think it's 120 senior affordable units. And for those of you who don't know senior, what that means, senior in the state of North Carolina for housing purposes means 55 and up. So that's what that means. So council will vote on this Monday night. And, oh yeah, Eastland. Let me just say that the groundbreaking for the Eastland Sports Complex will be early next March, definitively. There's a date, everything is set, it is in motion. I know some of y'all have been telling this. Maureen, we've been talking about this 2 years now. It is definitively going to be early next month, definitively. Things are booked. So that TBD on that. But our economy and our connectivity here is really doing well. Any questions about any of these? Any other things that you guys might see that are going on that you have questions about?
Hey, Greg, can you talk about, I saw the city council meeting, it was a committee meeting, and they were talking about the business districts, and I know you were there.
Yeah.
Can you talk about like what that means for us over here on this side of town?
Yeah, so essentially we're trying to figure out a framework to get funding to be able to continue some of the work that we've been doing, which is exactly supporting our small businesses, convening them, providing connections to technical services and providers. We are specifically and have been asking to be outside of the corridors of opportunity framework. It just very transparently has not worked for us and our other BDO partners on the ground being under that umbrella. So the city is pursuing a Main Street designation. That'll be a 36-month process, which we believe that there is some value to. We're leaning a lot on our partners on the west side who have significant experience with this before, that have done it for 10 years. So we're essentially in the position where we're trying to figure out what does that look like, right? How do we take some of the best practices that have been incorporated from the designation of these areas as corridors of opportunity? But I think the sense of what I mean from it hasn't really been working for us. How do we scale it outside of a corridors of opportunity kind of mindset where we can incorporate business districts to get line item municipal funding in other areas that are not identified corridors like Plaza Midwood, potentially Monroe Road, even in NODA? Because super quick, the way that commercial districts work in the city of Charlotte, for those of you who don't know, Center City, South End, University City, and South Park imposes taxes upon themselves through their commercial property to fund organizations like mine to do the work. We don't have that. We've never had that. We've had disinvestment over the years, and we don't have that commercial capacity. So Tanya, the concept of what the city is pursuing right now is figuring out how do we get these business districts that have been funded via ARPA the actual capacity and supports that they need, because just essentially it's just been cutting a check and there hasn't been any back end support. So that's what that conversation is right now.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah. Hopefully we can keep pushing it.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. And Suzanne, yes, it is the sports complex is next month, early March. This is a very quick note. Last year, and we did this in response to the Shannon Park tragedy that happened 2 years ago with the police fatalities and the shooting. We kind of created an internal Eastside violence mitigation framework where we said, how do we meet people where they're at with more resources to cut barriers for mental health, public health, safety, social services? The Scarborough Center exists, the Woodard Center exists, but for a lot of folks, there's not even sometimes the awareness of that. Sometimes there's access to transportation issues. So we decided, let's do pop-up community resource fairs in apartment complexes around the east side that we've identified as being some of the highest need corridors. Some of those corridors where violent crime rates are the highest, where employment rates are the lowest, where AMI is income is the lowest too. So we and some of our other partners, working with Our Bridge for Kids, primarily as the other co-organizer, held these pop-up resource fairs in targeted apartment complexes, and this was one from Sailboat Bay. And I just pulled the text here. I just put this up as a visual for the slide. This was from LinkedIn last year. But our next resource fair, our first one of the year, I don't know why I didn't put the date on the slide. It's March 26th. So we are looking for partners to join us to table. So think about it just being a very quick 2-hour tabling session where individuals come out, share your resources, meet with community face to face, pack up and leave. No frills, just very direct in the moment. Here's some resources. So again, I'll send a follow-up, but if there are agencies or individuals who would like to come, the schedule, we're still figuring out the exact apartment schedule that we're going to do, but we're trying to do it all with one property management company so we can streamline it. And these are property management companies and owners that have most have received housing trust fund dollars from the city. So we're trying to kind of layer the supports and be very intentional about how we're choosing the apartment complexes. Jillian, it's typically how we did it last year was 4 to 6 afternoon. But details, we'll send some follow-up details, but this is kind of just a save the date. If interested, reach out to me about this. So, alrighty, looking at time, we are going to move on to our friends from Galilee Ministries.
Good
Emily,
afternoon. Hey, can y'all hear me? Good, thank you. So I'm Emily Parker. I serve as Director of Galilee Ministries of East Charlotte. We're at 3601 Central between Briar Creek and Eastway. And I just wanted to update you on a couple of things coming up that everyone's invited to join. First of all, next week we've kind of restarted our monthly community lunch. It's a free lunch. Everyone's invited. It's third Tuesdays of the month. And so the next one coming up is this coming Tuesday, February 17th, 11:30 to 1. I don't know if you've been to Galilee, it'll be in the back building in what we call the Flag Hall, which is a big gathering space. But really, all are welcome. And if you're ever interested, you or a group you're in, and if you're interested in hosting a community lunch, please let me know. I've got a little sheet that describes what all is involved and so on. So please do come next week if you can. The next lunch after February will be held on March 17th and so on third Tuesdays. Also, later this month, we are putting on a mental health first aid training. You can see the flyer on the left side of the screen there. It's going to be Friday, February 20th. It's all day. Truly, it's probably from 9 to 5. Get here at 8:30, have coffee, some snacks. A woman named Demetria Nickens out of Winston-Salem will come down and teach the class. You get a certificate for, if you complete it, good for 3 years. The only thing is if you want to attend, it's $30 per person. The QR code there will get you to the registration page where you can sign up and you can pay. We'll provide lunch. We just need you to RSVP by 10 p.m. this evening. So a wee bit short notice, but if this is something you can do, please do RSVP because Demetria needs to order all the books and everything and have everything shipped in time. So 10 p.m. tonight is the cutoff. Um, so there's that. I'll put my email in the chat too if you have any questions, but please share this info with your networks. Also, just a friendly reminder that here on site at Galilee, we have two food pantries. One is Nourish Up Pantry that's been at this site for forever. You need a referral to come to Nourish Up, but we can work that out for you. So there's that. We also have Lydia's Pantry, which is Galilee's kind of emergency stopgap pantry that you don't need a referral for. Shelf-stable food. We have diapers, things like that. So just wanted to remind you guys of that. If food is a need, please do keep us in mind. Thank you. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you so much, Emily. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How was the January event? Did you have a good
It was
attendance?
great. The lunch, we had probably 50 or 60 people.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's great.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Right. We have Miss Venitra White Dean. Give it to you.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So on the 28th, the last Saturday in the month, we'll be having our Cocoa and Caregiver Conversations. It was originally scheduled for January, but of course the snow had other plans. So this is for family caregivers. It doesn't necessarily have to be Alzheimer's caregivers. I took care of my mom when she had Alzheimer's, but the Franke Mae Foundation is for family caregivers caring for a loved one with any chronic illness. And so our monthly meetups are the last Saturday of every month. And this month, we're going to have a panel discussion with two mental health therapists, a social worker, and Ramona Holloway, who's a former caregiver for her mom. And then we're going to have some comedy because we know the conversation can probably get a little heavy. We've done this before and the conversation did get heavy. So we decided to sprinkle some comedy in there. So enough said, we'll be there with some comedy. This is free for the caregivers. We just ask that they register ahead of time so we can plan for lunch. And then also, if you know a caregiver and they need someone to sit with their loved one, we actually partner with home care agencies and we pay for the home care agency to send someone to the home to sit with the loved one. But Saturday, the 28th, check-in is at 10:45 and we go until 2 o'clock. But again, that's lunch, the panel discussion, the comedy set, and then we also have a caregiver store. So the caregivers can order supplies that they need, whether it's incontinence supplies, durable medical equipment, body wipes, body wash, things of that nature. So please spread the word to any family caregivers that you know in the area.
Thank you, Venitra. Thank you.
Thank you.
How many times have you done a panel for your caregiver meetup?
We usually do it the January of every year, so this will be the third
Okay.
one we've done.
Okay. Okay. And is it usually, I mean, this is awesome. I'm super looking forward to hearing how this goes. You've got a really good panel. Got a
Yep.
great panel.
So, and even though it is for family caregivers, of course, you know, Greg, you've come. I see Maureen is on here. Anybody can come because some of our things are specifically for family caregivers, but some of the things we talk about are just for people in general. So, it's open, but we cater to family caregivers.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Carolyn, I told you I don't think Douglas is on the call, but I'll give a little bit of context and then Carolyn, you can jump in. So for a number of years now, the city of Charlotte planning team has been working through the creation of community area plans. So this is another layer on top of the Unified Development Ordinance, otherwise known as UDO, which is another layer on top of the 2040 plan, to really dictate how do our communities grow and develop over time. Like what specifically are the plans? Now, the city of Charlotte was split up into 14 geographies. Our geographies, we have a number that encompass our area, but it was carved in a very interesting manner. So like the university, UNCC, is in the same area as Sharon Amity and Milton Road, and vice versa. You have Eastland kind of in the same um, area plan as the Cabarrus County border. So Carolyn Millen, who is the planning commissioner and the only planning commissioner from East Charlotte, has asked staff to hold another community engagement meeting specifically for the East Side. But excuse me, specifically, it's the Eastway Park Sheffield Park Neighborhood Association in partnership with Councilmember District 5, JD Masweta Arias, putting this together. There are 3 other city-led opportunities, but the one that Carolyn is about to discuss is the only one remaining that is going to be East Side specific. And I will note, planning staff did exhaustive work over the past few years trying to get, I guess it was really last year, trying to get as much feedback as possible throughout the entire city on these community area plans. And the East Side was the lowest participation in these community area plans. So in terms of feedback. So Carolyn, I will let you speak about the meeting that is coming up.
Thanks, Greg, and thanks everybody for being on here. Yeah, I had spoken at a neighborhood East Side meeting last month about if I could get at least 50 East Side neighbors, community leaders to attend a meeting, that I would reach out to the planning staff to see if we could have a specific meeting that would be for Middle East and Outer East. The Inner East area plan was approved. There's 14 area plans, like Greg said. 7 of those were approved and 7 were deferred, as Dr. Victoria Wallington and a couple other council members felt like there needed to be more opportunity for input. And I will give the city staff for the community area plans kudos, because they have really tried everything at every turn to give opportunities for neighbors to come to meetings, to learn more, to give input and invoice. And as Greg said, out of the 14 area plans and all the meetings that were done, Middle East and Outer East had the least participation. So right now, as it is, these 7 deferred plans are supposed to go back to City Council next month for approval. And I wanted to be sure that we had one more opportunity to get neighbors in Middle East and Outer East to come to a meeting and have this specific to these 2 areas, to voice your opinions, to learn and be knowledgeable, because this will be adding to planning for our future growth and any developments, rezonings to go along with the 2040 plan and then unified development ordinance. This is very, very important. And so we have it scheduled for Thursday, February 26th at Eastern Hills Church at 4855 Almall Road in the Fellowship Hall. That church is located right there at the corner of Almall Road and Pearson Drive. It'll be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you will, please mark your calendars and do your best to come out, because I really want to show that, one, that Middle East and Outer East do care about what happens in our area, and that you have a voice before these go for approval. So if you have any questions, Greg can put my information in the chat, and I just hope to see you all there.
Thank you.
Hey, Carolyn, can
Yeah.
you put or Greg, I guess maybe put the information, or I guess you'll send it in the follow-up.
Yeah.
But can you give us like a Cliff Notes version of basically what's planned for the East Middle and the Outer Middle?
It's going to be, Tanya, have you been to any of the, I think you most likely have been to some
I'm
of
one
the
of I'm one of the trifling ones who have not actually engaged in this one.
Okay. I know it's not like you don't have other things on your plate. It's going to be showing. I asked the staff to kind of give a real quick synopsis of why the community area plans came about that are connected to the 2040 plan, because there's a lot of people that have other things going on in their life. So they may have briefly heard 2040 plan and still don't know what they are, much less knowing what community area plan. And Lord, the Unified Development Ordinance monster that a lot of people really don't still understand. So I asked the staff if they'd give a quick synopsis at the beginning of where all these three come together.
Hmm.
Then they'll have the actual maps that are already done for the area plans. And then they'll have Middle East, because Inner East, I'm not sure, Tanya. I think you may be Inner East, but I'm not sure. But I
Hmm.
know Inner East was already approved. The
Okay.
Middle East and Outer East, they'll show the plans and then have the neighbors be able to ask questions and put what they would like to see as priorities, assets, and future, just anything that we would like to see as the future developments within the Middle East and Outer East, whether it's housing, businesses, social services, anything of the, and infrastructure, definitely infrastructure. So those are just some examples. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
No, that's cool. I was just making sure like it's not zoned or right now the plans on for it to become like industrial or something that people wouldn't want.
No, it'll show where I'm going to ask them to bring a 2040 because that has the place types. The place types are going to show you if there's neighborhood one or commercial center or industrial whatever. It'll show the place types, and
Gotcha.
then let the neighbors see. Okay, here's where the community area plans come in, and where it's different from just adding on to the 2040 plan, and then within the UDO requirements. So that's it's not rehashing the UDO by any means, and it's not
Got it.
rehashing the 2040 because those are both done, in the works and everything else. Community area plans are supposed to be just an added asset to give community a voice in what they like to see, and that's how the planning will go forward once these community area plans. Somebody comes for a rezoning, if it fits into the 2040 plan, and if it fits into the community area plan for that specific area.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
And I will say, Douglas, you joined right at the right time. Welcome. So
Good.
we have the chair of the
My
planning
my
commission.
my apologies. I was on another call. I got off, and it was like, oh, I need to get back on. And
No, perfect
um,
timing. Thank you.
I hear Carolyn, and hopefully Carolyn has given you all some great insight on what the community area plans are all about. She's my number one person over on the east side, and she's doing a great job of keeping the community voice in at the planning commission. And so, if there's any other questions that she hasn't answered that I can provide some insight on, I'm happy to do that. I hope that you all will come out to one of the two sessions, either this week, next week, or do the virtual session. As Caroline was saying, it doesn't reopen those can of worms for the 2040 plan or the UDO, but what it does is refine the ability for us to plan for small areas in town, with not down to the neighborhood level, but it is for specific areas of town. And with refined plans, you all give more control and get more control for your own particular area. Um, you all know, like I do, all parts of town are kind of different, and they all need their special sauce. And we're trying to give some special sauce to the east side.
So Douglas, let me ask you this too, and this is like a something I've been struggling with community area plans. We talk about what does it actually codify, right? So let's say
Yeah.
in the future a parcel comes up for rezoning. I don't know, random. Let's say it exists as N1, but
Hmm.
somebody buys it and wants to make it CG. Because they want to do whatever with it. Let's say they want to turn it into a data center or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now, if the 2040 policy map recommend or 2040 map recommended place type would be CG, and the community area plans, all right, let me take a step back. Is there expected to be synergy between what CAP recommends in 2040 plan? They should be kind of
Yeah.
overlapping for
Yeah.
place type
Yeah.
exactly, right?
Yeah, and there's slightly one piece missing. There's a policy map that says how we expect the city to grow. So when somebody comes in and says, here's a rezoning, and they want to have a particular type of use, and Greg, you mentioned CG, if the area is already recommended for CG, then we are in alignment and we can go forward from there. without having to consider what is necessary to change. If they're not lined up, the community area plans give a rationale for how to go from something that's not aligned to a better alignment or changing the map. Because sometimes things need to change. Areas don't stay the same. So if it was housing, let's say it was just a corner of a neighborhood and someone wanted to put a coffee shop there, okay? And they wanted to get a commercial zoning there. We have criteria in the community area plans that say what is necessary to make the change so that they could put that coffee shop there. And I've oversimplified that a whole lot. But
It's okay. That's a good breakdown because that, again, I've been really struggling, and I think this is part of the reason too why feedback has been low from what I've heard from community members too, is that it gets to a level of like being esoteric, right? Like where folks
Yeah.
you have 2040, which is hard to grasp. You have UDO, which is
Yeah.
a monster, and then you have this. So that was a good breakdown explanation. That makes a little bit more sense.
I will tell you all, if you find a city staffer saying the words entitlements to you or some other jargon that you don't understand, please clap back at them and say, please use plain language so that I can understand this.
Yeah.
I push for this at all times. Carolyn's right there behind me pushing for this. Maybe I'm behind her. I don't know. But we really do want people to use plain language. And as I said, I simplified that out. There is another step that we want to accomplish, and the policy map was drawn up using the land use that was already in place. It took the old map and said, "Hey, this is our starting point." But there's some pieces of land that we got it wrong. Okay, about 5%, we got it wrong. So there is this notion that we need to go back and realign those pieces that are incorrect and do a better job. And that is a thing called the alignment rezoning. Unfortunately, the state of North Carolina's legislature passed a law in December of 24 that basically put an axe in the head of that initiative. And there's not a clear cut way to go forward with that right now. And so there will still be places where people ask for a rezoning. What it says on the policy map will not match up with what they want to accomplish. And we will, for the areas that have an adopted plan, we'll be able to say, here's the criteria for you to make changes.
Got it.
For the communities that don't, well, it's gonna be a little bit of voodoo in there perhaps sometimes, and it's gonna depend ultimately on how city council and feels about it, because they're the ultimate arbiter of this, and they make decisions that are legislative, not necessarily. They make decisions that are legislative. I'll just stop at that.
Got it. All righty. Well, thank you both.
Real quick,
Um,
Greg,
mhm.
Douglas mentioned two meetings in the virtual. The city staff has two in-person meetings and a virtual meeting this month. They're different than what ours is on the 26th. Those are showing all 7 of the deferred plans. They're huge public meetings, and it's for all 7 deferred plans for anybody to go to, and including the virtual. So I don't have those dates in front of me.
They're
I'll
the
push-
12th,
I'll
12th
push them out.
and 19th at West Charlotte, and God, now I'm forgetting the place up north.
It's one of
Yeah.
the churches off W.T. Harris right before you
Yeah,
get to Sugar
and then
Creek. I'll
the
send it.
virtual one. And for people who just love me, I'll be at Carolyn's meeting.
Yay! Yay! Love it.
Great.
But the one
Great.
I'm doing, me and JD are doing is specific to middle and far east. So outer east.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
get that. We'll get that out tomorrow. Thank you both very, very much. Got about 6 minutes left. I have one more agenda item, and then I'm going to kick it to Nancy, who I believe is still on the call from Latin American Coalition. Very excited about this. So as y'all know, open air markets are an embedded part of the East Side of the last 20 years, especially in the wake of Eastland Mall's demise. We have off W.T. Harris in the site of the future pending Spark Central Workforce Development Hub across from the neighborhood Walmart on W.T. Harris. A local vendor is going to be doing markets starting in, I think she started them in March, every weekend. She's done a few so far, but these are different. Let me say these are a lot different than the ones that we had 5, 6 years ago at Eastland. These are vetted vendors. There's a very firm process and advertising and marketing team behind this. Entrepreneurs that are specifically targeted for their business type to come out. A lot of young entrepreneurs, Gen Z, millennial, that are setting up and doing pop-up markets, pop-up vending, everything from food to jewelry to children's books to some social service vendors are there. So Norma Lopez is the organizer's name, and she's the owner of Dulce Dreams Cafe. They are having a GALentine's market, all female vendors on Saturday. And you can see some of the opportunities that they have. They're having free photo ops, bracelet bar, doodle photo booth, DJ, goodie bags. And Norma is really intentional about making these markets work for the community and for the vendors as well. Extremely sharp entrepreneur. So if you guys get the chance on Saturday, check it out. I don't know why they didn't put the timing is there, my fault. I just had to move the screen. It's 12 to 5. They always do have food vendors. The elotes there are really good. And Norma makes really great conchas. So if you guys get the opportunity to stop by, that address is 8801 WT Harris. We're very, very excited for Norma and the team to be coming with frequency. And if you're interested in vending, let me know. And not at this one, but at future events, I'll connect you. All right. Nancy, are you still on the call? I want to give you an opportunity to share about the Ganas program.
Hi, Greg. Yes, thank you for the space, everyone. My name is Nancy Apollinaire. I work at the Latin American Coalition, and particularly with our youth center. And so today I'm here to share a little bit about our Ganas programming. We are now recruiting new families to join our Ganas program this semester. Ganas is a free mentorship program. Our goal is to support our bilingual youth, particularly English and Spanish speaking, ages between 13 to 19, and their families. We have an in-school program and an after-school program. Right now, we're recruiting for families in our after-school program. We do this as a 10-week program starting in March. We will not only work with the student, but we also work with their parents in different workshops and activities from college readiness, career exploration, leadership, as well as alongside a mentor. And our goal right now is to ensure that any other individual in this call, if you have your own networks or may know of a youth who may benefit from individualized mentorship, to please help us spread that word. We continue supporting our students and families from prior semesters, but we are now opening up to new students. In our in-school programming, on another note, we can't do this work without mentors. And what mentors are in our program are more of that life navigator and that individual who our students can look up to and share a little bit more of their life experiences. Many of us have been in their shoes and know some of the issues that we were facing when we were younger, as well as some advices that can help them out. And sometimes that's what our students need. It's a little bit more motivational and another adult in their life that also believes in them. And we are at the moment a little short in our in-school programs and mentors. We want to have a bit more mentors, and I know in-school programming can be difficult due to the time. The commitment is no more than 6 hours per the semester. So starting March all the way in, ending to May, it's no more than 6 hours that you'll be committing to. It was bi-weekly, and it's on Mondays at 1 p.m. I can send that information as well to Greg. So if anyone's interested in giving and volunteering some of their time with our youth, it's all guided, and we provide that training for y'all. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nancy. And thank you for getting back to me about that other email earlier. I'm going to follow up with you about that one specific student. Last thing, and then we are at time, and I will send this in a follow-up, but right before the call, I received a call from the ACLU of North Carolina for any organization, business leader, elected official, allies who are interested in signing on to a letter demanding that Border Patrol and ICE comply with Freedom of Information Act requests. For those of you who are unfamiliar, they're just not, DHS is just not responding to journalists, to anyone about where people are, how many people were, what happened in November, where specific individuals are. So if you would be interested in signing on to a letter asking DHS to comply with ACLU's Freedom of Information Act request to get this information, please let me know. And with that said, we are firmly at time. Thank you all to the new folks who came. Please keep coming back. Thank you who come regularly. And if you have anything else you would like added to the follow-up, please send it to me by end of day tomorrow, and I will send out the minutes Friday morning. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.